Okay, our instructor today is Mr. Caleb Riddle. Here's a guy that's been with our team for about a year or so, and he's had really fun growth. It's been fun to watch Caleb and get to know him. He is someone that went back and forth across the country working at different resorts, found himself in Park City working for the ski resorts, and now he is working with our team Elevate in Salt Lake area with Renatus, putting his education to use. And he is here now to tell us how we can find our why and how to pursue that. Gavin, good morning, or Caleb, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Can you hear me?
Caleb, are you with us this morning?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you a little bit.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Ron. So I'm going to see if I can get the whiteboard clicked up here. Perfect. Yep. There we go. Good morning, everybody. And again, thank you, Ron, for this opportunity. Thank you, team, for this opportunity to share with everyone. What I'm going to talk about today is finding your why and kind of figuring out the magic step in between when you have no stars and when you have 5 stars. And I'll share my story a little bit so that those of you who are in Salt Lake City can introduce guests to me if they have a similar story, or also so a lot of you know a little bit more about me. So I've been a seasonal worker traveler for quite a few years. What that means is for the past 4 years, I would work at a winter resort for 6 months. I'd move and work at a summer resort for 6 months. I'd move and work at another winter resort, move to another summer resort, and I just traveled across the country doing a ton of different things, from driving horse carriages on an island that has no cars to serving cocktails at the Daytona 500 down in Florida to, working for a nonprofit where I was actually a public speaker and traveled across the nation and, collecting all of these different experiences along the way. And as I went through all of these experiences, I always realized that I was out of money. And I was in these amazing places, and I only had so much money to do the experiences that I wanted to do. And that really hit me when I was doing a season in Big Sky, Montana. And I wanted to go on a snowmobiling trip through Yellowstone because it was right in our backyard. And I just couldn't get the money over the season to be able to do what I wanted to do. And it just became this reoccurring problem. The issue with seasonal work is that when you miss one season, or if you have one season where you don't make the money that you expect, it crushes you. And it's really hard to get back on track. So that's where I found myself when I moved out here to Park City about 2.5 years ago. I had maxed out all my credit cards because I was living off of credit. I came into this area in a massive amount of debt, and I just couldn't get myself out of the debt. I was struggling a lot. It sucked. So I found Renatus about 2 years ago. I was invited down to a house tour and really liked what I saw. And I'm looking at this opportunity with like a 500 credit score, negative $400 a month cash flow. And again, it took a little bit of time for me to really figure out how to make it work. But I knew it was something I wanted to do. Like I could see that it was something that could make me money and change my life. And even at that time, I can point to exactly what my limiting beliefs were. Because credit funding wasn't an option, getting credit cards, I ended up finding an angel investor. And a lot of people know this part of my story is that I found an angel investor, which is my grandma, who helped me get started with the education, which is awesome. It's awesome. So since I've gotten started, I'm in a fix and flip with Christian and a few other people in the community. I'm working on starting a short-term rental business. I've started buying and brokering notes, real estate notes. I'm making money on paper without even touching real estate. And to be honest, I watched the note classes about a month and a half ago. And I'm already looking at money. So for those that like the 30, 60, 90-day plan, it's awesome. There's also faster ways to make money, believe it or not. And a lot of us haven't watched all the classes, which is why I mentioned that. So just know that the option's out there. So that's my story. Looking into my why, and how to figure out your why. The unique opportunity here is that I am currently 1-star. I'm about to be 5-star, but I'm in this unique spot where I am literally in the transition. And there's a lot of people that we hear from that are either 5-star, or we hear that they're not 5-star. And there's not a lot of opportunity where we get to hear from the people who are right smack in the middle of that transition. And the cool thing is, over the next month here, if you come up to me and ask me where I'm at on my 5-star journey, I imagine by this Friday, I'm going to be past 5-star. That's the goal. So when you look back at this training, because it's getting recorded, if you have people who are struggling with the journey of getting there, I want you to be able to point them back to this video, and I hope that it helps people with their transition. So with that, how did this mindset begin? How did this transformation begin? Because we all get into Renatus and we all want to make a change, but how, right? How does that happen? It came down to a few things. I've had a few life events happening over the past couple months. These life events, I'm not necessarily going to share very openly on this call, but if you ask me about it, I will tell you about it. What I determined is that after these events, I figured out that there's two things that I wanted for my life. And I found out that I wanted to spend my life with people who want to live their life I don't want to get stuck with people who don't want to live their life, or people who just want to keep doing what they're doing or whatever it is. I want people who want to fully experience their life. Those are the people I want to live with and spend my time with. And the second thing that I wanted is I also want to spend my life with people who want to live their lives with me, right? I don't have time for the people who do not want to live their life with me. They're not worth it. There's 7.442 billion people on Earth. If one of them doesn't want to live their life with you, don't waste the time on them. There's 7.449999 other billion people out there, right? And it was this shift. It was this shift that I really realized that I needed to live in an abundance mindset. And you hear that a lot in the group. So ultimately, and I didn't quite realize it at the time, but I was shifting into abundance, right? I was getting rid of scarcity and I was shifting into this abundance mindset. What I've kind of noticed from my observation so far is that pain is the trigger, right? Pain gets us to pull the trigger. When we're feeling pain, when I had $20 in my bank account and I was looking at purchasing a $20,000 education, it was because of pain. And it's pretty easy to trigger that. So figuring out why is going to be the motivation that carries you through. With this new mindset, I started noticing a few things with the abundance mindset. It was that I was always talking about, I dreamed to do this, I dreamed to do that, whatever it was. And someone at a Thursday night meeting said something about, I don't know if it was an instructor, I don't remember who it was, but someone mentioned a quote. And this quote was, the difference between a dreamer and a visionary is that a dreamer has his eyes closed and a visionary has his eyes opened. And it really struck me because my entire life, I was thinking that I was dreaming about everything and realizing that even that was limiting. That was limiting me. And as soon as I started to realize that I had a vision that I wanted to share and realize that I could have my eyes open and see the vision, it only increased this abundance mindset. And it was really cool. And I didn't even realize it. I didn't know what I was doing except for just improving my abundance. So I came down to this. I literally made a mission statement for my life. And it was not because anyone told me to. It's just because I decided that this is what I wanted to do. I decided that I wanted to become an expert at helping people fulfill the vision right? Not dream, vision that they see for their life. And I decided I decided this about 4 or 5 months ago, that I wanted to become an expert, a freaking expert at helping people fulfill the vision that they see for their life. Again, it came from that abundance mindset. It came from the life events that I went through not too long ago. It came from being connected to this massively successful real estate networking group that we're all a part of. And ultimately, it comes down to me wanting to build a team. And that's kind of how I started going into the next steps of what I've been doing recently. So as John O'Neill would always say, cast a vision, build it, and they will come. I mean, it's really true. I just started casting vision and putting out ads, and people will use my ads, and that's fine because it doesn't work for them. Because it's on my ad, I'll put them up on the internet. My words don't work for someone else because that ad is my vision. And the people that I get from these ads for marketing really identify with me because I cast such clear vision in it and I put my heart into it. So I'd suggest if you're marketing out there, really put your heart in there. Cast your vision. You're going to attract the people that are attracted to your vision, and it's going to help you that much more. So coming down to figuring out your why. These are all leading up to it, right? You need the abundance mindset. You need to start figuring out what you want for your life. Start casting vision and sharing your vision. Again, there's 7 billion people on this earth. It's a lot of people. There's so much vision. There's a lot of vision to share. It's fantastic. So here's some steps. Here's some steps that I took that I saw success with, that I think will help a lot of people, whether you're 5-star whether you're not 5-star, these are going to help. And if you haven't done them already and you are 5-star, I highly recommend that you start taking these steps. One of the biggest steps is going to be plugging into the Audible account that we so graciously have access to through Michael Huggins. And if you have not listened to these books already, you need to go listen to them. It starts with GoPro. This is like the breakdown of what you need to start doing. GoPro, Pitch Anything, the Closer's Survival Guide by Grant Cardone, The Big Leap is another one, Go for No, and Straight Line Persuasion. I don't know if Straight Line's on the Audible account, but there's a lot of people in the group that have it, so just ask around and we can send you a copy of it. So that's where you start. Listen, I highly, highly underestimated these books, and for a long time I didn't listen to them. And then I did, and things started changing. I'll leave it at that. We got a Straight Line is in the Google Drive. Yes, thank you, Natalie. Yep. So if you haven't given those a listen, jot them down. Again, GoPro, Pitch Anything, Closer Survival Guide, Big Leap, Go for No, and Straight Line Persuasion. These are going to help your mindset and get you into a spot where you can start talking to people and casting your vision. Again, that's what's more importantly. That's going to help you start casting vision. Next to that, you want to plug into as many trainings as the group has. For people local to Salt Lake City, making sure you're going to all of the epic presentations, making sure that you are going to all of the Saturday trainings. And if you have free time, you want to make sure you go to all of them, every single one. And as Michael would say, make sure you have someone with you. And what will start to happen is every time that you go to an epic presentation and you go to a Saturday training and you don't have someone with you, you're going to feel like you should have someone there. It's a really good natural motivator to invite people to events, is when you go to them and you're the only one that came out of your group or your team. Oh, I got someone else hijacking my whiteboard. Perfect. So make sure you're plugging into events, listening to the Audible accounts, and on top of that, we also have additional trainings. And this is just a refresher. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but the EMT trainings are fantastic. I had the awesome opportunity to plug into that in August and September. I learned massive amount of fundamentals of how to book people to follow-ups, how to do the follow-ups, how to have conversations with people strategically. It helped my business immensely, and I would recommend that every single person in the group take that training. That's with Michael. It's fantastic. Second, Raul also does a training, and I also had a wonderful opportunity to be able to plug into Raul's Close or Lose boot camp. And as you find yourself at the table trying to close people, this training will help you a lot. It's a 2-week training. Raul does it over the phone. If you haven't done it, do it. And if you want to do it, do it. It's fantastic. So these are all kind of the mindset and abundance trainings that I was able to plug into in the group and take advantage of over the past 2 years that have led to where I'm going now and what I'm doing currently. that supposed to be there? No? Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. All right. Now getting into the why, right? You're setting yourself up with this amazing mindset training. You've switched to abundance. You are kind of on this path into getting into your why. And let me talk about one more thing on abundance, because it's a fantastic, I just love my abundance mindset. I'm so happy with it now. If you remember 2 years ago, 500 credit score, negative $400 a month cash flow, I made a decision recently, very recently, that I'm never going to run out of money. And that's a pretty big statement. Never out of money. You know why? Because when wealthy people start to run out of money, what do? They go and fundraise it. When you need money for a property, what do? You go and fundraise it. If I'm starting a business and I don't have a lot of money, what am I going to go do? Fundraise. Doesn't matter what position I'm in, when I have my vision, I can raise any amount of money that I want. And again, there's 7.442 billion people on this earth. Do you think 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them will be willing to fundraise your business? The answer is yes. There are people out there that want to help you. All you got to do is find them. And it's just a decision. I didn't start making more money, although I will be in the future. I just decided I'm never going to run out of money and left it at that, right? Mindset. So here's what happens with your why. And I've got to credit my why for bringing me to the mindset that I'm in right now, right? I talked about the 2 things. I want to spend my life with people who want to live their life. I want to spend my life with people who want to live their life with me. That's how it started. I wrote them down. I told a few people about them. I vocalized them. I wrote down my mission statement. I want to become an expert at helping people fulfill the vision that they see for their lives. I wrote it down. I vocalized it. I told a couple people about it. And when you go around the group and you ask people, why are you doing this? A lot of people, I want to spend time with my family, or, I want to go on this vacation, and I want to, help people. Okay, great. That's a good starting point. I'm going to bet that there are a lot more than just one thing. There's more than one thing that you want to accomplish with your life. In fact, I would dare to say that even you 5 stars out there and you 1 stars, or maybe you just got started, I'm going to dare to say that there's at least 100 things that you want to do with your life. And I'm going to challenge you to go ahead and write down. Actually, let's change things. I'm going to dare you to write down 100 experiences that you want for your life. And you're going to get about 20 to 30 in, and you're going to go, oh, wow, okay. These are all the things I want to do. What else do I want to do, right? That's kind of where I got 20 to 30 in, and I was like, these are kind of the big things that I've been thinking about. Now they're on paper. I don't have to consciously be thinking about them all the time. I can kind of put it in my mind and let my mind think about it without me always having to put so much effort into thinking about them. And these things are, for example, I'll share, I first of all, I want to do what I want when I want and have the money and the time to do it, right? That's a pretty good why, but that's only one why. I want to be able to take my families on vacations. I want to be able to hike the Appalachian Through Trail. I want to hike the Pacific Crest Through Trail. I want to learn more how to rock climb. I want to study martial arts in a temple program. And I want to become a DJ. I'd like to DJ a set at a music festival. All these different things are in the first 30 that I came up with. I want to create a production studio. I want to road trip down the coast of Portugal. I want to cliff jump into an ocean. Like, these are all experiences that I want. And I got to 30 and I was like, wow, okay, this is a lot of experiences. Where do I go next? Okay, the next 30 are where I really got really creative, and it got me excited about my freaking life. 31, I decided that I want to fund the building of a spaceship. Not only that, I want to have my name on a spaceship. That's one of my goals. That's one of the experiences that I want for my life. I want to take a 2-week river trip. I want to influence the human collective consciousness, right? I want to be an influence on the consciousness that we've built now with the internet. We're a global society. I want to be an influence on that. And I want to be able to hack my state of flow and be able to enter flow whenever I need to. I started getting into, wanting to enjoy all sensations of life, help transform people's lives, encourage the development of the human race, right? And I started getting into these really, really big picture motivations. And I'm getting goosebumps about it right now. When you start getting into how you want to influence the world, the experiences that you want for your life, and you start writing them down and seeing it all on paper, your motivation naturally just skyrockets, because instead of just having one thing, right? I want to do what I want, when I want, have the money and the time to do it. That's my number one. But that's going to get kind of boring after, 2 weeks. I would dare to say about 2 weeks. Yeah, it's still one of my goals, but I've now got this list where I can look through on a different day and be like, oh yeah, I wrote down that I would like to own a cottage on the bluff of Mackinac Island. And that new thought, even though I wrote it down, but each time I go through the list and remind myself of what I want, it just becomes this massive energy that propels me towards my goals. And so I would encourage all of you, again, to write down 100 experiences, really get into the heart of what you want from your life. There are no limits. There's no freaking limits. In 50 years, we're going to live in an entirely different planet. Like, things are going to be a lot different than they are now. And a lot of things are not only possible today, but are going to be possible in the future. And we get to be the influence of what's happening in the future, right? It comes down to what we want, first of all, and what we do with what we want. So do not limit yourself. When you're making these experiences, write them down. If you want to, I don't know, do whatever you want. I want to start a line of influential hotels. I mean, I can just jot them off here. I want to promote peace and mitigate conflict. And, when it even comes down to as simple as I want to swing in a hammock on a beach with a loved one, right? And each one of these that you vocalize, and tell people about them. And that's what I have. Alden and Skylar and Christian can tell you that I've vocalized many of these things, because when you write it down, you put it in your brain, when you vocalize it, it starts to become real. Again, the abundance mindset and seeing the vision for your life. So for the folks that are struggling with kind of the in-between, how do you get out of the employee mindset into a wealthy mindset, and how do you make that transition? This is going to be a massive, massive, massive help for that. So to give you an idea, guys, I still work full-time right now. I have a job that I am still working 40 hours a week, and I'm okay with that. But I put 40 hours a week into this job. I am building my team on the side. I am starting a short-term rental business, vacation rental. I'm sharing this with everyone, but that's all right. Vacation rentals, we're getting some units up and running. I am buying and brokering notes. And guess what? I still have free time in my day. Also part of my goals. So I gave myself a goal that the next 100 days, I'm going to hit the gym every single day. I'm 2.5 weeks into it. I take Sundays off. Got to have at least one rest day. But I'm 2.5 weeks into it, and so far I've hit my goal. If you've got anyone that's telling you that they don't have the time, it's not true. Right? I fill every hour of my day with productivity. I'm spending less time on Facebook. I'm not watching Netflix. I'm having meaningful conversations with people. The overall balance of my life is improved because I'm still learning, but I'm learning how to be so much more efficient with my time. And when people say, I don't have the time, I go to college, I can't do this on the side, tell them, I understand, but you're going to become so efficient and get so much out of your life with this efficiency that it's going to be worth it. You almost need to start part-time before you go to full-time. And then just sharing my experiences, because I closed my first combo on Saturday, right after Super Saturday. Closed it. We're sitting on the top of this cafe. First combo, all by myself. I mean, obviously, I plugged him into the group and he came and saw the presentations, but as far as the follow-up went, all by myself. That was on Saturday. Sunday, I woke up early. I drove all the way down to Salt Lake. I'm up in Park City. I went down to Salt Lake City. I got some coffee with a couple, and they decided they wanted to get an advanced package. Education. Oh, thanks, Wanda. They decided they wanted to start with the advanced package. Sweet. Perfect. I'm just collecting decisions. They want to get started. That's fantastic, right? And Michael says it all the time. Just collect the decision. Show them all the options. Collect the decision. On Thursday, I helped another person into their funding. And on Thursday, we're putting his order in. And it's going to be a freaking combo. I'm going to be 5-star by the end of the week. I've got 8 combos in the pipeline right now. And they all got there within the past 2 weeks. I mean, I decided that I was going to take massive, massive action, and I've just been filling my pipeline with combos. 2 of them will be funded by the end of the month, and we will be able to close on them. The other ones I'm still working on, and that's okay, right? That's fine. But what does that look like? That right there is $44,000 worth of commissions. For my productivity for just March, again, I've been working on this mindset and working with an artist for 2 years, so I'm not saying it's an overnight success, right? This took a lot of work. The mindset is not easy, but it is easy when you take the steps. I'm looking at $44,000 in March. Plus, I talked about that note. I'm brokering a note and making $10,000 on that. So we are 13 days into March, and I'm looking at $54,000 worth of productivity. And I still work full time, and I'm working on 3 different businesses, and I still have free time during my day, right? The success is there. You just got to go get it. One of the So that's where I'm at right now. That's why I talk about if you want to see me 5-star, call me in a week. We'll be there. But I'm in this really cool transition where I've built up all this this momentum. One of the things that really helped me, again, in the Audible account, after you read all the books that I mentioned before and you feel this momentum and you really want to take the next step, I highly recommend this book, 10X by Grant Cardone. And I think that if you talk to Christian, he told me to read this book. I think it was clear before I read this book and after I read this book of how much action I was taking and the results that I was seeing. So once you've got that abundance mindset and once you've got kind of the pieces in place, listen to this and watch it change your life. If you're not in that abundance mindset yet, do not listen to this book because you're going to think we're crazy. And then I also just want to share, again, for people who are just starting out or even 5-stars who are also struggling with putting orders in, 2 common things that always pop up, 2 rejections. I'm just going to share this before we end the call here. Always, the first one is I don't have the time, right? And I talked about how to get over that objection. Don't have the time. You do have the time. And tell them that. You do. Do you drive? Do you commute anywhere? Great. Listen to the classes at a 2 times speed. You can listen to an 8-hour class in 4 hours. You commute 30 minutes to work every day. Guess what? That's an hour a day. That's an hour a day where you're getting 2 hours of education. In 1 week, you're going to get that class done. We've got a question here. Abundance Mindset book is going to be, which one? There's one that specifically talks about abundance, and maybe if there's someone in the group that can help me think of which one it was. Because I can't remember which one specifically talks about abundance. I think it's GoPro that talked about abundance. Do I have any backup on that? Maybe. For now, I'm going to go with GoPro. There we go. Keely says The Science of Getting Rich. Haven't read that one, but I'm adding it to my list right now. Right? And that's what I've been doing. Anything that anyone tells me to read, I'm reading it. I'm just doing it. Again, listen to it 2 times. I'm reading a book right now that's 24 hours long. It's only going to take me 2 weeks because I listened to anything by Napoleon Hill. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good abundance one. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. And everything else by Napoleon Hill. Thank you, Keely. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, is a fantastic one. All right. So back on, I don't have time. It's a lie. They've got time. Okay. That's objection number 1. Objection number 2 is I don't have the money. How many times have we all heard this? Wow. $20,000, that's a lot of money, right? Has anyone figured out a good way to overcome that objection? Because I have, and I'm going to share it with you. And it's been working freaking wonders for me. And this is what I do, because when someone tells me, wow, $20,000, that's a lot of money, I say, yep, you're right. 20K is a lot of money. You're absolutely right. And then I stop and I say, can I just poke your brain a little bit? Can I just push a couple buttons here? Can I challenge your mindset and maybe change the way you're thinking? I flat out say this to them, word for word. Can I change your thinking for a minute? And they always say yes. Yeah, go ahead. Change my mindset. Change my thinking. I say, okay, cool. So the education's $20,000. Great. That's a lot of money. You said it. You told me that's a lot of money. Guess what? If we are looking at a house and that house is $30,000, do you look at the house and say, oh, $30,000, that's a lot of money. I shouldn't get the house because that's a lot of money. How many I think some of you might see where I'm going with this. Who does that? No one does that. They don't look at a house and go, oh, that's a lot of money. I shouldn't do it. What if you look at the house and go, oh, $30,000, but we're going to make a $50,000 profit when we flip it? Are they even looking at the $300,000 anymore? Yes, they're looking at it. It's a cost. But what are they actually looking at? The $50,000 profit. Right? The $300,000 is still important, but the profit is what they actually buy the house on. Okay? So when they're looking at the education and saying, wow, $20,000, that's a lot of money. I don't think I can do $20,000. Yes, you can. How much is it going to make you? $1 million? Right? 500K? 5 million? What's it going to make you? How many flips? What are you going to get out of that education? For me, I watched, and you can use this, I watched the note classes a month and a half ago, and I'm already looking at $10,000 back. That's the power of the note class. If you want to start doing paper and not touch real estate, watch the note class. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I know it takes a certain kind of person, but it's fun, and those people are out there. If they want to do a fix and flip, right, plug them into 30, 60, 90. 4 months later, 120 days after 90, 7 months down the road, they're going to make $20,000, $40,000. What are they going to make? And you tell people that, and you shift their mindset and go, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, $20,000, but I can make a bunch of money with this. You can see it in their eyes. You can see the click in their eyes, and you can see the sparkle, right? That's the sparkle that I'm looking for. That is the expertise of helping people fulfill the vision that they see for their lives, is realizations like this, right? I get to live my mission statement when I talk to people about this, and it's addictive and it's awesome. So those are how I'm handling the two biggest objections right now. And once you get past those, they start asking questions, right? They start asking buying questions. And that's how I've gone into all my follow-ups this month and started making progress. So with that, I do want to ask if anyone has any other questions. I saw there were a few other chats in there. The Go-Giver, Eloy says the Go-Giver for abundance mindset. Any questions at all? I know there's about 50 people on the call here. Again, these have just been my observation. This has just been my observation of the group and observation of the classes and my observation of the books that I've read and how I've been utilizing them and how I'm seeing success with it. Cool. Thank you, Keely. All right. Well, I think that's about it. So again, the name of Michael's class is EMT, which stands for, I know this is a massive plug for all the trainings that we have. EMT is Elevate Marketing Training. Elevate Marketing Training. And then another question here, audiobooks. That one, because I don't want it to go on, these are recorded and I don't want it to go on YouTube. So ask the person that enrolled you or your 5-star, and they should be able to get you access to the Audible account, because I don't want to write the password up on here because, again, it goes on YouTube. So awesome. Yes. And the last little thing, the action steps, just to kind of review. EMT is amazing, Ron says. It is. If you don't have your 5-star, this will get you there. I agree, and I'm living it. Product of the product. Again, action steps, listen to the books, plug into all the trainings that you can, mindset books, trainings. Remember, one why is not enough. Wow, that's an F. Not enough. Get 100. And then once you have 100, make 1,000. Right? That's like the overachiever step right there, the 1,000. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time this morning. I will let you all get back to your day. I appreciate you all letting me share my story and share my progress. And if this helps you and you start seeing a transformation, let me know, and we can share your story. And again, thank you so much. The success is out there. Go and get it. The best way that you can help the people in your life is by being successful. So thanks again, and have a great day, guys.